Welcome to the Weird and the Weary. I'm Jason. With me is Kevin.
Hey there.
And Lee Noble.
Where have you been all my life?
I was home last week, so that was kind of rough. But...
Yeah, and I was away. I'm sorry I had to leave you.
Well, you didn't want to be near me. That's why I did the show remotely last time.
Yeah, that was a good thing. I was not bringing that on vacation.
No, you would have infected the whole plane. Everything.
That's just a little souvenir for the rest of your fellow travelers.
Yeah, Florida heat on the way there, and
Florida heat on the way there and Florida heat on the way out. That asshole.
Right, and you need to see a doctor when you have that kind of heat coming out your asshole, I guess. You know,
Proctology can't help you then.
No, and if your rectal thermometer explodes, you're in trouble. That's
especially if it's a mercury one, you're
right.
In real trouble.
Oh yeah, there's shards, there's mercury getting your blood, and it's just bad.
Well, that turned me into a superhero if I have a mercury-based thermometer in my ass that ruptures when I'm 36,000 feet in the air.
Maybe, yeah, he might be like anal hematoma guy. I don't know.
Ooh.
How does he fly the mercury out his ass?
He just sits down and the pain makes him fly.
Never seen anyone move so quickly.
That's the real Quicksilver.
You know, we go to doctors. We go see our doctors if we're not feeling well. Sometimes we have people in the medical industry that promise good things. Different therapies, different drugs. Sometimes your doctor's not a doctor.
Ooh, that sounds like my kind of doctor. Health insurance lapse.
Save some money.
Yeah, I got things to do.
I got a deductible. Okay, so I got that. I mean, I'll try the back alley doc first. Cash only, no problem. It's done.
Works for me. It's probably no line either. Sounds like a win-win. And
then sometimes these companies that promise new radical things, they're a bunch of liars also. So that's what we're talking about today. We're going to talk about doctors that aren't doctors, people in the medical industry that just run a shill and take money towards a lie. And specifically, we're going to talk about Zé Arrigo. He went by that pseudonym. His real name was Jose Pedro de Freitas. Born October 18th, 1921. He was a faith healer, and he was a proponent of psychic surgery. Have you ever heard of psychic surgery?
No, I haven't, but I like the sound of it.
I'm no psych your mind.
There's a couple different ways you could do this. There's the psychic surgery of finding your chakras, aligning your chakras.
Oh, okay.
Okay, stones maybe sometimes.
Sure, the crystals or whatnot.
Right.
That kind of stuff.
Aligning the pendant over your naked body. That's how I dated a long time ago. But
oh, sure.
That's a psychic surgery. But then there's even more extreme one where they actually pull hunks of raw evil just right out of you.
Oh, that sounds way more efficient.
They're just squeezing around. They're like, oh, what's that under your pec muscle? Oh, and then you'll see blood, and they'll pull out like a big gooey mass of something, and they'll dump it in a tray.
Ugh.
And that was shown to be bullshit repeatedly because, well, number one, if you're pulling hunks of meat out of somebody's body, you're killing them.
No, that's a pound of flesh. You're just charging them.
Oh, well, yeah, and plus whatever.
He overcharges like 30 pounds of flesh.
But it was shown these guys doing some sleight of hand stuff, and they'd fill like little baggies or even like condoms full of blood and guts, and then crack it open and show that it was kind of being pulled out of them. That little sleight of hand trick.
Gotcha, like the little blood packs actors wear or something like that.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
Like Hulk Hogan had like dozens on him during WrestleMania.
Well, no, a lot of those guys had razors. They would have actual razors.
Oh, right, because they're all coked up. They didn't feel it anyway.
Well, I don't even know about all that, but they were probably just...
Oh, I do.
Junked up. They were pumped up, man. But yeah, you see his razors, like Kamala. Psh.
Kamala? I don't know if he did much coke.
No, but he cut his head. I mean, look at them eyes.
Yeah.
He
slapped his belly a lot, though. Yeah. Papa Shango.
Who? Oh, Papa Shango. Lord have mercy.
But Zé Arrigo, he was not a Papa Shango. I mean, I don't know. I kind of want to believe this one, but he grew up in Minas Gerais, Brazil. His family was very poor. He could only study up to the third grade. I mean, that sounds like you got to pay for your schooling the whole time. That sounds awful.
Yeah, it's just DLC after the first couple of grades.
No, I'm kidding. He probably couldn't afford it, or he couldn't go to school. He had probably his family or had to work.
Yeah, he probably had to work for a living. Okay.
Yeah, he did. He started working at a mine when he was about 14 years old. And about so this is like 1935. He started working at the mine. 1950, he started suffering from headaches, insomnia. He'd go into strange trances and start having like audio-visual hallucinations.
Ooh.
Now, generally, that could be classified as a whole slew of mental problems.
Mm-hmm.
But he took it as more of that he felt an inner voice that had been pursuing his body. So he kind of let it come to him one day. And it manifested into Dr. Fritz. Dr. Fritz was a doctor. He looked like a doctor. He had a white apron. He had the mask. Bald.
Team of people around him.
I think he might have even had the little reflective mirror thing that the doctors had.
Oh, they
like
flip
up on the forehead?
Yeah, the headband. And
What is that for?
they
Like flip down there
they flip it to reflect light
into the patient's
eyes, yeah. Before you had like because you had the light overhead light, so you just kind of deep, and, practicality, man. Like before modern day conveniences, we had practicality. We're running out of that, so But yeah, so Dr. Fritz, bald, white apron. I'm gonna say he had the whatever that device is called, the little reflective thing on his head, and
Now we have to look that up.
Yeah, look it up real quick because I want to say it. I want to say that.
That's in my headcanon now that he looks like that anyways.
Like any 1940s doctor, I'm going to even say yes, he's smoking probably.
Yeah, well, yeah, probably. He's ashen in the guts.
A head mirror.
Head mirror.
That's it. That makes sense.
So, yeah. So Arrigo, then Jose, saw the doctor come to him, head mirror and all.
Did he appear like this?
Yes, head mirror. I don't know if he had that. Syringe, but I'm gonna even imagine that he was like smoking, with the face mask on. Just okay, Arrigo. This is what we're going to do. I'm going to take your body. It's getting yellow. No matter. I do this in life. I don't know. I can't do it. I'm really bad at accents, I'm realizing.
Who are you supposed to be? Rodrigo?
No, I was trying to be Dr. Fritz.
Oh, Dr. Fritz.
I take your body, and I...
First, I take your body.
Wait, no, you're Arrigo.
I am not illegal.
We're getting ourselves in
I am not
trouble
illegal with it controlled by German... Go!
So after having a good time, a little chat, and maybe a compromise with Dr. Fritz, he started telling people about it. I channeled this German doctor.
Sure. Same thing I do when I feel a German doctor enter me.
Right.
I go around bragging about it.
That was my colonoscopy in a nutshell.
I have a German doctor inside of me right now.
I'm anesthetized, but I'm still awake. I can feel them blowing me up like a balloon. This is horrible.
You know how it is when your hands are really numb and you try to put them in gloves? As I feel like the fucking glove.
So yeah, when you have a wild hallucination and you think your body's being taken over by another entity, I call you, Kevin. I'm gonna call you on the phone. I'm be like, Kevin, guess what just happened? I'm a doctor now.
Congratulations. How did you accomplish this so quickly?
Well, I want to show you. I'm actually at your front door. And then when you open the door, I'm going to slam you against the wall and cut something out of you that you didn't even know you had.
Oh, wow. This sounds very aggressive.
Right. That's pretty much how I read this guy.
I can see Kevin. I didn't consent to this.
Well, it was so unorthodox because he had no medical training, but he began to perform operations from his home.
Ooh.
And he was using scalpels and needles as his instruments.
Okay. Hopefully these are willing participants. He wasn't just scooping people off the streets like, I'll fix you.
No, because since he was still he was a practitioner of this like faith-based medicine, a lot of people believe in that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, spiritualism.
Right.
Gotcha.
No.
He's like, guys, I can do that now. And everyone's like, all right.
Okay.
I'm in.
Yeah. I mean, you couldn't do it yesterday, but sure, let's do it, Arrigo. Or, I mean, let's do it, Jose. No, Arrigo, no.
Fritz.
I'm leaving. Yeah, like, okay, I know you as Jose your whole life, but now you think, okay, anyway.
Wait a minute, dude. You were a fucking minor. How the fuck are you doing this now?
Well, 1950, he was,
promoted to major.
he was 26. He was 26 when he started doing this. He started just doing these little operations. He would go from, removing somebody had like a cyst under their eyelid, and he pushed him back, and he took because his bag of tricks turned from like scalpels and needles because you run out of sharpness on a scalpel after a while. Started using kitchen tools like a butter knife. So he took a butter knife, shoved it into the guy's eye. Just kind of scooped it around, and like it was vigorous. It wasn't gentle at all.
Right. Well,
took it out, just looked at what it was, wiped it on his pant pocket, and told the guy, "Go, you're all set." And the guy was fine. The guy had no infections.
Wow.
It was alleged that he removed a cancerous tumor from a Brazilian senator, and I read this account that he came to his room. And he had spoken with Arrigo earlier that morning, and Arrigo was himself. He was Jose. He was still a regular guy. And then later he invited him to dinner, and he had him stay. And then later that night, he just came into his room uninvited.
oh, jeez.
He had no cognitive recognition in his eyes. He was just kind of dead behind the eyes. But he had the thick German accent. And he said, I'm here to remove it. And he pushed him back on the bed, and he held him down, and he inserted the little rusty pocket knife that he always carried under in between his ribs.
Yeah.
And worked it around. And the alleged account from the senator was that it was uncomfortable, but it was not painful. And he fell asleep at some point, and when he woke up, his pajamas were covered with blood.
Yeah.
He had a little slash that wasn't bleeding anymore. It had already clotted. And his lung tumor was gone.
Wow. So, wait, he just passed out right in the middle of this. He's like, oh, that's enough for me.
Not from the pain, though, but it was more like he was...
boredom.
Either that or
Are you done yet?
Dr. Fritz had gave him, a little choke.
Sure.
Held him down and choked him a little. But, no, I mean, he said it wasn't painful. When it was like... he could feel something happening in the side of his lung, but
Right.
And then he eventually slept. And when he woke up, he had bloody clothes, and he was cured of cancer.
Good to
apparently.
go.
This is an alleged account. I don't know if the senator actually spoke of this publicly, but this is something that Arrigo said had happened.
Gotcha.
And who knows? It could have.
Yeah.
And that's dangerous, though. I mean, it's very dangerous because you'll have people saying, well, hey, if Arrigo can do it, who says I can't do it?
Well,
I think I have weird German ghost friends in my head that I think about.
oh, sure. I mean,
Let them possess me.
there are other faith-based healers out there.
No.
But they weren't taking any real medical. They weren't like cutting anybody. They weren't doing any surgeries. They were doing the weird.
Concoctions
spiritual
and stuff,
and the concoctions, which are probably more dangerous than shoving a butter knife up your eyelid, I would imagine, because God knows what those are made out of.
Jerry's still out on that one.
I'm not blind yet. Wait, have I always been blind? I don't know. I've been drinking this shit my whole life.
That is the magic.
But the medical system was so horrendous in Brazil then that people were taking turns to alternative medicine because the healthcare system was just in shambles. Nobody was getting proper health care. Doctors were just taking money for shady things. It was just bad medicine, and this was good medicine.
Yeah, I mean, whatever gets the job done, I guess.
Well, eventually, so many people started coming to the Kangonas area that Arrigo lived in. They started getting more of a reputation, started getting noticed, and in 1956, he was convicted of illegally practicing medicine. He spent 15 months in prison, but he was sentenced to 15 months in prison.
Mm-hmm.
But he was pardoned by the president of Brazil at the time, Wascaleno de Oliveira.
Ooh.
And so I kind of think he helped the senator.
Yeah, it sounds like if he got presidential pardon at
Right.
that point,
Right.
he helped somebody.
Right. He helped a lot of people, apparently. I think I'd mentioned before we started recording that I had a coworker. She was from Sao Paulo, Brazil, and I mentioned this guy, and she knew who he was right away. And her parents, I asked her to ask her parents, because this is 20 years ago almost, but yeah, she called him, and yeah, they knew exactly who he was. He's a well-known guy.
Wow.
And yeah, he was helped a lot of people, apparently.
Yeah, jeez.
Now, he had a lot of skeptics. You know, he had James Randi, who was like a magician kind of sleight-of-hand guy.
Okay.
That's what he said Arrigo was all about. And he even did a photograph of him performing a similar knife stunt, like the eyelid stunt.
Gross, but all right.
Right. And so, he's saying that Arrigo was a shill. But then an investigator went down there. His name was Joe Nickel. And he had written that Arrigo prescribed various potions, concoctions, and they're obvious placebos. And the prescriptions that were filled at the pharmacy in the town run by by Arrigo's brother.
Okay.
So, his miracle healings weren't such a miracle after all. But Andrea Puharich, he is a medical and parapsychology researcher. He's also a medical inventor, physician, and he's an author. So, he had some cred. He wrote some shit about, Uri Geller. Uri Geller was a guy who could, in the 70s, he was a guy who bent spoons with his mind.
He would have to, he would rub it.
Rub it
a little bit, and then it would just go.
And then one day on a talk show, when presented with props that they gave him,
couldn't do anything.
Couldn't do it. That was the end of his career.
Didn't resurface again until The Matrix years later.
Right. And he did a little piece on Arrigo, and he went to see him, and he wanted to see if his medical magic was real. Mm-hmm. So he had a small tumor in his elbow, his left elbow, called lipoma. It's benign, just annoying. So he went and saw him, and they spoke, and then he asked to see Dr. Fritz, basically, and Arrigo gets into his trance mode, and he says, "Hold still." And he pushes him against the wall, and he rolls up his sleeve, and he pulls out the knife, and he feels some movement in his elbow, and he slaps something wet in his hand, and it's the excised lipoma. And there's just a little slit on the guy's elbow, and he had it taped the whole time. Little slit in the guy's elbow, just barely bleeding, and he said, he's like, "What? You didn't clean it?" And he's like, "You don't need to clean it. It's fine."
Oh.
Yeah, call it Brian.
And he went home and cleaned it, of course, but he had it checked out by doctors, and they said it was clean incision, nothing, no infection. The lipoma was gone.
Nice.
And, so who knows? I mean, maybe he did have some kind of psychic link with Dr. Fritz.
Hey, if that's the case.
Or he just read a lot of medical books.
He wasn't telling anybody.
Right.
That's what he's doing in the middle of the night. It's pretty sneaky. He's like, "Oh yeah, I'll come back and operate on you later." And he's like, "Where's that fucking book? I gotta read up on this."
Appendix. How do you spell appendix? How many A's is it?
Just gotta remember to force him up against the wall every time you come into the room. That seems to be a running thread here.
How do you go? What the fuck are you doing?
That's how I say hello.
Why are you so forceful? Sadly, Arrigo died in an automobile accident in 1971. But he was doing his thing up until then. People were seeing him. And there aren't any cases that are documented of any of his patients dying.
Oh, nice.
So, who knows? I mean, the presidential pardon and, the senator story.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
So, yeah, after he got the presidential pardon, just nobody else was like, well, you're still doing this illegally. Everyone was just like, well, whatever, president's cool and I'm cool with it.
Right, yeah. Arrigo, just do it.
But he didn't come from an affluent family, right? He came from like a working class family.
Yeah, very poor.
Yeah.
Like I said, he stopped going to school in third grade.
Yeah, because the thing about it, too, is that if you have someone like that, as long as they're not working like for taking care of a bunch of richer people or well-affluent people or this and that, they're like, yeah, he's working on whatever, common people. We don't really give a fuck.
Gotcha.
Now, the Conongas region town of Conongas was a mining town.
No.
So it was just like, that's all there was. He had to wait 6 years after he dropped out in the third grade. He had still to wait 6 years to work at the mine when he's 14.
Yeah, I'm just thinking of the politics of it, too, and the social caste system. Because it's like, well, if he's working on lower caste people that can't really afford it, then, why should it really bother us?
Right. He's getting those poor people to shut up. Who cares?
Exactly.
Yeah. There was no healthcare system, basically. So that's where people turn. They turn to the snake oil.
To the Brujas and Brujos.
Mm-hmm. Fritz.
It's on the Fritz.
Dr. Fritz and his mystical mirror.
That mirror.
Arrigo, we need to see Dr. Fritz.
I don't know why
Yes,
I think
yeah.
that has such a mystical, complex name, head mirror. Like, it should have some, like, it should be like the renal scalpel, I don't know, renal scalpula. I don't know what I'm saying, but.
This is the eye hole gazer. Could you look into the eye?
I'm the eye hole, man.
It's like, cause why they have the hole? Because I'm thinking like they need to be able to look into their eyeball really well like this.
Give me back my eye holes.
You're such an eye hole.
It's, and yeah, I don't know. I don't think he was a liar. I think he really could help people. I don't know. Who knows? I'd like to know.
Penn Jillette has some words for you.
I'm sure he does. Bullshit. Just one word. Bullshit. Well, Penn, I don't know what's up with that pinky finger, but it's pretty cool.
He calls that the stinky finger.
Oh, shit.
What is it got like is it nail polish?
Yeah, it's been red like that forever, yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's some sleight of hand thing that he does.
No, it's a reminder that he's really Satan.
Leave him alone. Leave Penn alone.
Leave Penn alone.
But, sometimes shills are real. Sometimes you're a real liar about what you do. Like the case of, Theranos. It's a documentary now, The Inventor on HBO.
Not to be confused with Thanos. It's
No.
Theranos.
Yeah, not the guy who snapped his fingers and turned all the Marvel guys to dust. I don't feel good.
Mr. Stark.
Too soon.
Did I spoil it? Guess what? Half the Marvel universe is dead.
Oh, my God.
And so is Elizabeth Holmes' bank account. It's dead. Dead, like her career. She founded Theranos. I haven't watched the documentary yet, and I read the piece about them in 2014 when they started up.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of big promises. Everybody thought this was like. Well, she also tried to be the medical Steve Jobs. She wore the turtlenecks. Is it alleged, or is it really? Did she really do the husky voice on purpose?
I don't know. I could see how one would think that it's sort of forced.
Right, because people say this. People are saying that she forces the husky voice out.
Maybe she was imbued with the spirit of Steve Jobs.
Whoa. In death, I want to go into the medical field.
It's great to be here. Thank you.
I don't know. I mean, it sounds like she might really just have a husky voice, but she's also a liar, so she might not really have a husky voice. I don't know. I mean, it's attention grabbing.
It
really.
is.
If you listen to it, it's kind of like, okay, that's
Sounds firm.
firm voice, strong woman.
Yeah, authoritative. I trust her.
Right. White lab coat, turtleneck.
Sounds
Nice.
like she's romancing the stone.
Short skirt and a long jacket.
But, I mean, she promised a lot. She promised to basically change the world, right? She was, Theranos, they created a method she claimed that they were creating a method of testing, like an all-in-one box, where you could basically just put in a drop of blood, boop, oh, okay, you're going to get cancer and you have this cancer, and broccoli is $2.99 a pound.
Oh,
because you could just go do it. You could just do your little blood test and go do your shopping.
Oh, perfect.
That's how convenient. Everybody's going to have one in their home. They're going to be in every store. Blah blah blah. And yeah, that was her promise. And a lot of the research was showing that it was kind of possible. I guess that they figured a way to do this.
Okay.
Not like not like CRISPR, the CRISPR project where where they're altering genes. That's reality.
Right.
Which it almost sounded like science fiction when I first heard about CRISPR years ago.
Yeah, but now we got those super mice.
Right.
Yeah.
So I mean, CRISPR's pretty awesome. This sounded like another kind of thing, in the same vein as CRISPR.
CRISPER?
IR.
IR.
I can't even tell you what the acronym means, right?
No, I'm not asking. I know. No, we'll be here for a couple days. It's all right.
Now I want to know.
Let's call the doctor. Call the doctor, and we'll see. He knows right out probably top of his head.
Thank you for paging Dr. Fritz. I am taking a nap right now.
Oh, your head
Please
mirror.
leave a message.
Head mirror.
My head mirror is missing. Please leave a message. Goodbye.
Kevin's wearing the head mirror. Dr. Kevin wearing the head mirror.
Oh, of course. CRISPR, the clustered, regularly interspaced short palindromic repeats.
Oh, thank
That's exactly what I was not going to say earlier.
Well, I was about to say it, but then Kevin was like, give me the sign, like, no, I want to say it. And I was like, okay, go ahead.
I'd shine the head mirror right at you.
Right.
Couldn't even see anymore.
I can't even speak when I can't see. It's horrible.
So
I'm closing my... I guess I'll close my eyes.
Crispin Glover?
CRISPR Glover.
CRISPR
Glover and Back to the Future.
Crispy Glovers?
He's the super mouse in Back to the Future. Yeah, this tech didn't work. This tech was bullshit.
No.
Sorry for anybody who's about to watch the documentary.
I just invested.
You just signed up for HBO and you signed up for the Theranos.
I just invested in this Theranos thing. That sounds great.
Was it like Theranos coin?
Oh, damn it!
Because this was a similar shill to a lot of these
the
ICOs out there. Yeah, it's basically just an ICO.
This is the future,
right? This is my idea. 3.00004 cents a pop. I have 93 billion of them.
I'm in.
93
I bought them all.
Ideas.
What's next?
And this was, wait a minute, 2003?
2014 is when...
No, when she did it.
When she started
2003.
This, yeah.
And she was 19 at the time. So now that's what? She's 35, 36 years old?
Yeah. And her reputation's ruined. I mean...
Fucking ruin's an understatement.
Oh, yeah.
Her resume probably looks pretty good.
Sup until that one red line.
Yeah.
Stop here. Don't flip over. Or remember those stupid tests you get at some point of grade school where it's like, sign your name at the top, run around your desk 3 times,
yeah,
blah 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 blah.
Make sure you read
make sure you read all, and there was yourself and the 2 other kids that are just like, why are those kids running around? I was just doing because I'm not doing a stupid test.
I did all the stupid stuff. I was like, how the fuck has everyone done so fast?
Well, luckily, honestly, I moved schools and I had gotten that one done on me. At the 4th grade, I had gone to half the year before, so somehow at the other part of California I was at, they did the same thing again. So I knew exactly what it was, and I'm like...
Saw that one coming.
Okay, hope we get a cookie from this. And no, I didn't. I'm just like, oh, guys, idiots. Wow. And that kid's supposed to be smart.
Nope.
Nope. Just fucking, little Mr. Book Smart. No. Man, you'd be eating on the streets.
You're going to need to go talk to Dr. Fritz.
Yeah, Dr. Fritz going to cut the fucking shit right out of you, man.
Hold on, let me see if he's available. It's busy.
He's
he's fucking busy.
Looking for that headlamp.
Jesus. Everyone's calling Dr. Fritz.
Yeah, jeez. Dude needs call waiting.
So through all the turtlenecks and mirrors, she was not able to deliver anything. And Alex Gibney's documentary, which is on HBO now, explores how the scam happened in the first place, and puts pretty specific focus on Miss Holmes. It's documented that she had her employees followed, their homes bugged, their machines bugged, watching them. Like one of the whistleblowers eventually just gathered some courage and bought a burner and started making some calls, calling it in and saying it's all a lie. Everything was, none of this was real.
Oh no,
the cake was a lie.
Yes, a lot of focus is put on Holmes and her alleged, the fake baritone voice that people say she's been using. Her Steve Jobs look pretty much just blows open how much of a fraud she was in the very beginning. And the people that she had scammed. It's just kind of amazing how big it got, because it was, like a $426 million empire before it collapsed. They had so many backers. It was funny because, she had been asked, during a podcast, she was on The Dropout. And, she says, she was said on camera, she's like, I don't have many secrets. Okay. And that's in the documentary trailer. And, and reading about, how all that shit blew open, I just wonder what other secrets she had. What else she could have been into while all this money was funneled in, what other plan she had.
Right. Yeah, it looks like her net worth was at $4.5 billion at some point.
$4.5 billion.
Yeah, billion. So I assume she was up to some wacky stuff.
And not only is there a documentary, but there's going to be a film by Adam McKay.
Ooh.
Starring Jennifer Lawrence.
Jennifer Lawrence, right.
Oh, nice.
Right, because, she is. She's a beautiful woman. She's charismatic, powerful, and a liar. And a liar. The most dangerous kind, the charismatic liar. Because everybody believed her, and people were just funneling money in. And I can't wait to watch this documentary. It seems very interesting. And it was weird, because I remember reading, like I said a while, I read about this years ago, and just stopped hearing about it, and it was last year that the lid was blown up, and now they're gone, they're worthless. But it's just amazing how something that big could happen, and we see it on, I guess even, smaller than this, but with drug companies in themselves, like the drug representatives I've seen at doctors' offices. This is just a perspective of mine, but they're young, they're beautiful. I've never seen a shabby looking drug pusher from any of these companies.
Well, right. Nobody wants to buy drugs from some dude that just looks like he's an actual drug dealer on the streets.
Right.
Yeah.
You want to go get a hot dog at the corner and talk about this Zyrtex?
You want to put $150 million in on this? This could be you.
Stops the warts on your pee-pee. It's not warts, it's her. Never mind.
Damn, she's got a lot of powerful connections.
Oh, yeah. Well, she did.
That's crazy.
She might still. Who knows? I don't know. I don't...
they're probably still connected. It's just by lawsuits now.
Right.
Well, the people that invested in her, man, they lost a lot of money.
I believe that.
Lost a ton of money.
I'd actually like to explore this again later after watching the documentary, maybe. But, I just thought it was interesting to point out how, we had this guy in the 50s and 60s who was using butter knives, saving the day. Mm. We had someone who just took billions of dollars from people. Where do you collect that this lie is going to come to a head? When it...
Maybe she was just trying to dump all that money in and be like, hopefully somebody can actually invent something under me.
So that's a lot of wishful thinking.
Wasn't that was a movie. That was that movie with Matthew McConaughey, the Nolan movie.
Interstellar?
Interstellar. That was exactly what that was, because Michael Caine, we don't know how to do zero gravity, on Earth. It was just a lie to make you people feel good. And then Jessica Chastain's like, nah, fuck that. I know math better than you, old bitch. And she whooped his ass in math. And
and it was more than just ghosts.
Right. It was the Tesseract. A real one. Wait. I don't know.
I like Cube Zero.
Don't ever say that again. Don't ever say that again.
Cube.
It's funny.
Hypercube. That was the one I liked.
Just like
I liked Hypercube.
Going off a little bit, but my name is in the first cube. The first guy who gets killed is Alderson.
Oh, he was the security guard, right?
No. I don't know what he was.
Was a maintenance guy.
He was the first guy that gets killed. They don't ever say who he was. Everybody's name was a prison. So Alderson in Alderson, West Virginia. And
that's your claim to fame.
That's my.
Wasn't there an autistic guy that got out?
Right, yeah, the autistic guy got out.
He got out at the end, yeah.
And then, we want to spoil a bunch of shit. Cube Zero shows that he was the first guy. He was the first guy to go in, and they lobotomize them when they get out. Yeah, and then they put him back in. Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot about Hypercube, though, was interesting.
Yeah, that wasn't cool. That was a Tesseract,
Yeah, that one I liked.
Interesting stuff. But on that note, I'm going to go look at ways to become a doctor, I think. I want to do some street surgery.
Okay.
You got anything going on? You got like any... You had like that knee thing, right? Like... Right?
Yeah. My knees are genetically not great.
What do you like to drink?
Oh, I like to drink sparkling seltzers.
Okay, with alcohol in them?
Oh, sure, yeah, why not?
Okay.
Get your ass up against the wall. Hold him down, Jason. No, give him the knife.
God, you're so forceful, Fritz.
Yeah, you take it.
Was that the knee? That was the different... He just passed out.
Oh, shit, wrong knee. Wait a minute, why you... My knee's cut open. What the fuck?
But be good to yourselves. Don't cut anybody open. Don't keep butter knives out of your friends' eyes. Unless they ask, say no most of the time. Really, just say no.
Yeah.
Say no to putting butter knives in your friends' eyes.
Yeah, and no surgical procedures until you're done with like medical school and you've done your residency, okay?
Right.
What if I see ghosts of Fritz?
Well, we'll talk a little bit deeper about if that happens. You tell us.
Okay.
We'll talk about it.
All right.
And we'll drive you somewhere nice.
Oh.
It'll be fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
As long as you let me keep my head mirror.
Yeah. Your head mirror.
You'll be able to keep it.
All
Forever.
right.
Wait a minute, which psychiatric place?
Yeah, that one.
Okay.
Yeah, the one I went to.
What? Got him.
Well, yeah. Be good to yourselves. Be good to everyone. I'm Jason.
I'm Kevin.
I'm Lee.
And we're the Weird and the Weary. Catch us online. www.weirdandweary.com. Twitter, Instagram, all those places. It's fun there.
Yeah, we're on the cool parts.
We're on the cool parts. Like our IP address, our V6 address. Look for yourself.
Fucking crazy.
JKL Media. Jekyll.